to the Spot Real Talk. My name is Tiara.
I'm Tiffany.
And I'm Ron.
And today we have a very special guest. We are speaking with one of the directors for PowerBook IV. It's Lisa Demaine. She has had a very storied career. You'll get to hear a lot more about her work, but we are excited to talk with her. So enjoy. It is an honor to speak to you. We are very, very excited, especially after watching Force episode 5. That might be one of my favorites this season.
Did we blow your mind a little bit?
Oh, no, it did. It
A
did.
lot of emotion, a lot of drama.
Indeed.
Yeah, so we are very excited to pick your brain about your work. So thank you so much for taking the time to chat with us.
My pleasure.
Awesome. So I'll let Tiffany get us started with the questions.
Okay. Well, Lisa, as Tiara said, it's a pleasure to speak with you today. And episode 5 was amazing. It was amazing. And I know you've directed a lot of major projects such as Ray Donovan and Chicago PD. And you were assistant director to one of my faves, like Save the Last Dance.
Right?
And don't forget Lucifer.
And
yes,
Lucifer.
yes. So many.
Yeah.
You know, she has had a storied career. But my question for you, like directing someone like Tommy Flanagan, who is major, he's an amazing actor and coming from Sons of Anarchy and everything. Like, what is your process for the death scene? Like, how did you approach that with him, Walter Flynn?
Well, it was, first and foremost, when I read the script and I saw that, oh no, Walter dies in my episode, not Tommy Flanagan. We all love him so much. He's such a wonderful, charming human being. And then obviously Walter Flynn's character is just bigger than life. So, getting in there with Walter and really talking about, I had 3 major deaths that I had to shoot in this script, Paulie's, Walter's, and Brendan Doyle's, and all 3 of them were treated differently, but Walter's especially needed to be the epic Shakespearean King Lear moment, right? He needed to have the opus sending, the send-off for the character worthy of a king, right? And so we storyboarded everything, working with my stunt coordinator, making sure that everything we rehearsed the day before. He had the stunt coordinator like 6 hours with all the stuntmen to rehearse all the shootings and where they happen, and based on my storyboards to get all of that worked out. We had the actor playing Paulie, who actually was there to fall into the water and actually be able to practice and rehearse that. So when I got Tommy out there, the focus could really be on Tommy and Vic and the acting and what had happened with he and his death. So we had everyone else really dialed in so that we could really focus on performance. And I really wanted Shane, the actor who plays Vic, to not be controlled in this moment. When he goes after him and said, it's you, old man. It's your fault this happened. It's your fault Paulie's dead. I did not want Shane to be holding that in any controlled way anymore. He had to release the years of rage that he has felt towards Walter, right? And have that rage and be so angry, so whited out that when Walter tells him to pull the trigger, he does.
That was an intense moment. I mean, I was on the edge of my seat.
Right? When Tommy says to him, he's still in charge of it. He's laying on the ground. He's been shot. He's bleeding. And he says to Vic, my beautiful boy, you have your mother's eyes. It was like, oh my God. And then pull the trigger. He's still directing him on what to do, even in his death.
I was surprised Vic was able to go through with it.
Yeah. Well, that's why I needed Vic to not come in icy cold, right? And like, I'm the cold-hearted killer, I can do this. I needed him to lose it. I needed him to let go so that you could believe that the emotions are running so high that he would be able to pull that trigger.
Fantastic job. Fantastic job.
Yeah, the actors are so formidable on this episode. I'm so lucky.
Definitely. Ron?
Well, first, let me congratulate you on your philanthropic efforts with the Make-A-Wish Foundation and North Hollywood Interfaith Food Pantry. I mean, for you to give back, that's a huge thing. And I wanted to make sure that we got that recorded. And
those are 2 charities I very much care about. Yeah, I'm a wish taker with the Make-A-Wish Foundation. you meet with the kids and get to know them and their families and find out what it is that they would like to have. So it's a really, really noble cause.
Well, that puts you on top of my campaign. So that's a beautiful thing. But what I really want to ask you, and they both Tiara and Tiffany took the words out of my mouth about episode 5, because it brought me back to that original Power series when it was a very strong episodes. And let me tell you, I nearly fell out of my chair when Vic shot his father. I got that Et tu Brutus moment. I mean, it was just okay. Let me slow down. But I guess what I really want to ask you is the collaboration between the cast and crew to bring that episode to life. I mean, was there any discussion about it or heartfeltness about it? How did it come about?
Yeah, I mean, just the steps in production that you take. So when we get the script and I meet with a storyboard artist and storyboard out the entire sequence, and then I meet with Jody Williams, our director of photography, talking about how I want to shoot it and what I want the feel to be. And then on the night, and actually also then working with the stunt coordinator. And like I said, he had the ability, once we had it all boarded and talked about how each of these die, because I wanted Paulie's death to be more, it's almost heroic in a sense. Mm-hmm. He says, when Vic says to him, Paulie, are you really going to go through with this? And he's like, 1,000 times over, family is family. Right. Mm-hmm. And so when I want that underwater shot, he hits the water, slow motion, right? Perfect. Which is right. And you feel the loss of this moral compass, perhaps, that Paulie had for the family. They're really going to be adrift now. But then on the night, the whole cast and crew, everyone loves Tommy Flanagan so much that there was this sense of huge respect for Tommy and people being very supportive and loving to Tommy and where he was going and what he wanted to do. Also with Tommy, just talking with him and how he wanted to die. Tommy didn't want to have Walter do some big stunty pull and goes flying, whatever. He was in control of his death. When he was shot, he still stayed on his feet and stumbled a little bit and went down. I mean, it was formidable Walter, even in his death, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
But a lot of collaboration. I really went, especially with big moments like this, really dig in with the actors early enough to talk to them about what they're thinking and what's important to them. And I have ideas of what I want, but obviously they know their characters too. And I have the advantage of being the producing director on the show. So I've been with them from the beginning of season 2. And so being part of all of that. But then when I'm getting into directing with them, is really, we're digging in as the who and the why. Why are you doing this? And what is it you want to do and say? And what is your intentions? And that we're aligned that way. And then I like to, when we start shooting, I'd like to say less, if it's something I need, it's like, I'll go in with a note, but the minute their eyes light up or their head starts to nod, I stop talking and just turn and walk away. They got it. Walk away, say less, because then let's go. They're ready, right? Roll that camera.
Absolutely.
That's awesome. Yeah. My question for you was more so about your journey into directing, because we've spoken to Ifer Vera and Sierra Glad, who also are directors on the show, and it seems like their takes on how they got introduced to directing is very different. So I was interested in hearing your story and how you got started.
Yeah, so I wanted to be a director, and I was working for a company down in Newport Beach, California. We were doing educational films, and I was introduced to that world of filmmaking. And I went to the director, and I was like a staff producer for this company. And I want to do what you do. How do I be a director? And he said to me, well, if you want to direct, you should be an assistant director. You'll be right next to camera and learn everything you need. If you pay attention, that's your film school. So I took him at his word. I quit that job. I moved to LA. I took a weekend course at AFI, how to break down and schedule a movie script. And then I just started cold calling as a first assistant director. I didn't PA, I didn't second AD, I didn't second. I just started as a first AD because, I don't know, I just needed to be next to the director. And so I had a nice, long, very successful career as a first AD, working with great directors. I was Guillermo del Toro's first AD on his first film in America. We did Mimic. I was Danny Boyle's first AD on a movie called life less ordinary. And so getting the chance to work with really great directors, and then moving into TV, I was the first AD on Deadwood for David Milch. And again, that show was so hard because, you know, legendary stories we didn't always have scripts, which is true. And so the directors would be just sort of, you know, not floundering, but some were more capable at handling that than others. And so as a first AD, just really stepping in to protect the show and help them and lean in. And so I got a lot of experience working with great directors and working maybe with less experienced directors. And all of that brought me to, I'm ready. Put me in, coach.
Well, it definitely shows in the work. I mean, it was phenomenal. The episode really captured a lot of the emotion that was going on in the script. And we see that you also have episode 9 this season. So looking forward to seeing what you got up your sleeve. Anything you can tease us with about episode 9?
It's as big as 2 in a different way. You know, I can tell you the task force is closing in, right? Stacey Marks is formidable. She will not be denied. I mean, she's not opposed to breaking a rule or two to get what she wants, right? And you know, people die. Drug dealing is dirty and dangerous, and so, you know, that's the world of force and of power, right?
You know, well, on our show, we tried to determine which one of the children would take Vic out. Take Walter out. You know, and right up to the minute, I was still not quite sure until we got into that fight scene, and then once I saw that Vic was victorious in the sense of, you know, not being injured or killed, or at least killed, I said, okay, this is the end of Walter, because he now knows the whole story. And you know, that last scene with his sister, my God, I'm telling you,
Claudia has to go. Claudia has to go.
Well, Tiffany has been saying that for I don't know how long, and I actually thought she would too. I thought that was the moment, if a moment had to be, that would be the moment that we see Claudia exit out of the show. But yet, you know, there's something about Claudia that I do like, and that's she has this grittiness and this ability to sustain, and she has gone through a lot with her dad. And so, you know, when Dolan, was it that told her? Doyle. When Doyle told her that she's not going to be queen, I knew. I said,
exactly. But the fact that she would sacrifice her own brother, that's why I think she's treacherous. There's something formidable about Claudia. I agree with that. But I'm like, wow, you're gonna sacrifice your brother? Because I feel like even if she did get rid of Vic, she still wouldn't be queen, because I don't think she would ever be able to change the mindset of Dublin.
You know, she's gonna always have that challenge, right? To get Ireland to believe that she could run. She believes she can. That's why Vic is soft. She's hardened. She can do whatever it takes to run this drug operation, and she doesn't think that Vic can. But her ambition is blind. And I love just how it was scripted, and giving me this template of how Doyle goes out is, you know, Walter had this epic gun battle, blaze of glory going out, right? Paulie goes out in a heroic way, slow motion underwater with blood seeping out. Doyle is like, bam, gone in a split second when Claudia realizes he's about to spill the beans on her, that she just boom, gone. And then, but Vic knows. He knew when she didn't show up outside the bar. He has that moment of realization. And so he comes back, and now it's siblings against each other.
And he knew when she told him the time, because they were supposed to show up at 9, and they showed up at 8:30, and she didn't tell him that the time had been moved up. So he knew what time it was. And I think, like, okay, Vic is gonna take her out, but I saw what he said to Stacey about he's gonna do it slowly.
She has to suffer.
So Lisa, as you can see, we are super invested in this show.
I am so delighted, you guys. You're true fans. I'm so grateful to you.
We cannot wait to see what else you have up your sleeve this season, and we're looking forward to seeing more of your work. We definitely, again, we appreciate the time you took to chat with us, and we'd love to have you back anytime you're free.
Excellent. Thank you, guys. I so appreciate you all.
And the next
And I
time
want to say that.
we'll talk about Jannard. That's
Oh.
what I'd like to talk about.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, we got to talk about Jannard.
Yes.
Well, I just want to say how admirable it is that I've seen that both you and Sierra did these major action-packed scenes that the women directors, what you guys are bringing to force, the women power.
Amen.
I was so excited about that.
Well,
I love it.
You see,
You
see the women power on the spot.
I do.
See?
I do. People assume, but my background is, as you mentioned, is like having been a first AD all those years ago, but doing TV shows like Deadwood and, Westworld and what have you, doing these big things. You come ready. Like it's a moving train, and you better be able to manage that train and be the engineer, right?
Exactly.
Yep. Well, thanks again. We appreciate you so much, Lisa.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. This was amazing.
Definitely. Thank you.
Yeah.
Bye.